So Unit 7 is going to be talking about Africa and Australia. Okay, first of all, when you look at the two different maps, you can see that one of them on the left is a political map. It has different outlines for countries as well as cities and names of the bodies of water around it. Those bodies of water are also in the map on the right, but it is a geographical map. It does show cities and countries, but it is more focused on the different aspects of the land. All right, Africa as a continent has approximately 1.3 billion people on it. It's a very large continent, and the equator runs right through the middle. The different types of economy, because there's so many different countries, can include trade, industry, agriculture, and manufacturing. These are interlaced economies based upon trade or any sort of economic system between the two different countries that may be involved or more. Since Africa is so big, it has many natural resources, including oil, natural gas, coal, iron, uranium, copper, gold, platinum, and chromium. These types of natural resources can be changed or compressed and make things like gemstones. Things like diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires can be found in Africa in many different mining areas. Government types are different in different countries, but some of them can be republics, like the US, monarchies, where they have a king or queen, a parliamentary system, which is kind of like England, or a military dictatorship, which is somewhat like North Korea. The top three religions in this continent are Christianity, Islam, and Abrahamic religions. So these are groups of people that have the same traditions or religions, but it's not something that is singular. The physical geography and climate of Africa depends on its location. There are 5 different seas or oceans that are available to be seen or visit in Africa. One of them is the Mediterranean Sea. The next one is the Red Sea, then the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and Gulf of Aden. Remember that Africa is essentially like a really large peninsula. It has water on 3 sides, but is connected to the Middle East in the far northeastern part of the country, or excuse me, the continent. Rivers themselves run throughout the continent, including the Nile, Mozambique, Congo River, Zambezi, White and Blue Nile, Senegal, Orange River, and the Niger River. Big lakes, such as Lake Chad and Lake Victoria, are there. They are about the size of the Great Lakes that we have in the U.S. Victoria Falls also is there, and Lake Nasser. Deserts, there are at least 4 to 5 different deserts, or the ones that are labeled. This includes the Sahara Desert, the Kalahari Desert, the Western Sahara region, Namib, and Libyan Desert. Mountain ranges are only about 2 different ones, but they are quite large. The Atlas Mountains and the Agar Mountains. Plateaus, there's a large one called the Katanga Plateau, and this is also near where the lowlands are, called the Congo Basin. Because Africa is such a large climate and it has the equator that runs through it, there is many different climate features throughout the continent, but low amounts of rain can contribute to how dry and hot it is, and it only changes when areas around lakes or rivers show good precipitation, or it rains a lot, or it snows, things like that. When you look to the culture and lifestyle of Africa, this also changes depending on its location. Majority of the time, though, Africa has rural towns and villages, with only 1/3 of people living in towns or cities. We're talking about places about the size of Joplin. At max, it's about the size of Kansas City if it was a capital. With these small groups of people, you can see that they have developed between 2,000 to 3,000 different languages based upon the region. Art of this continent also changes from location to ethnic group. Examples include wood carvers, statues, stories of religious practices and ceremonies that are passed on, what's called a kente cloth, and music and dances that are based upon tradition of that area and people. The main thing that we contribute to issues within this continent is healthcare. There is a large population growth throughout the continent, but medical care and materials are not there enough to make it healthy. It also shows that because this is not available for access throughout the continent or in particular countries, it increases the death rate even though population growth is happening. It also is due to things like malnutrition or a lack of food and sanitation issues. It could be that they have dirty water, dirty surroundings, anything in between. When you look to the map, you can see that there are 55 different African countries with capitals, though some of them are so small you wouldn't see them on a regular map. For example, the two island countries on the far right, one that says Victoria and the other one that says Port Louis, don't even show up on the map that we have in our geography book. Now, moving on to Australia. This is a separate continent that is also a country. They have different borders for the country, but these are not necessarily different countries. They're territories. These are kind of like what the United States has for different state lines. They have different territories between each line, and they have different parts of economics, physical geographics, as well as many other pieces. The Commonwealth of Australia shows that it is the 6th largest country in the world. Remember, Australia is a country and a continent. The population of Australia is 25.36 million people, and the current leader is different upon the region, and that's why it's blank. You have a prime minister that represents the whole country. You can also have different people who are basically governors for each different territory because it is a constitutional monarchy. The type of economy that it has is a mixed market economy that's slightly similar to what the United States has. Its three main religions include Christianity, Muslim, and Hindu because it is south of Asia. Natural resources, it is very common to see coal and natural gas in this country, but those mineral resources come in and you've got bauxite, copper, nickel, and gold that they can mine for. Big famous animals that are very common to see around Australia are kangaroos and koalas, kiwi birds, fish, and everything in a coral reef. When you look at physical geography and climate, in Australia, you've got two main rivers called the Murray River and Darling River. They have a large mountain plain called the Great Dividing Range, but it actually goes underwater to get to Tasmania, which is the island right to the south of Australia. They have another part called the Outback area, which is a very large area of plains and plateaus. It's very flat and it's very dry. Large rocks are in the middle of the plains area called the Ayers Rock, and it's located above the level of Australian lowlands. Northwest Australia is where you can find the Great Barrier Reef near Coral Sea. It's a very large coral reef that has all kinds of different land. But nowadays we can see that a lot of these parts of the Great Barrier Reef are locked down, so there can't be any sort of tourism or visiting of that part of the ocean. It helps them preserve things, especially when it comes to the atmosphere, the fish, and the different types of coral reef. In Australia, you've got two different island areas. One is Tasmania, which is the little island to the south of the mainland of Australia. And then we have New Zealand, which is a two-island piece. This area is on a fault line of the world, which means it's part of tectonic plates that move all the time. With this happening, we can see that both the islands of New Zealand do experience earthquakes, but one is more prone to it than the other. Between these two islands, that separates them is a body of water called the Cook Strait. So it's a very small body of water that separates the two islands. In the northern island of New Zealand, they have active volcanoes, they have earthquakes and geysers because it is closer to that tectonic plate. The southern island, while still having things like earthquakes, actually have large snow-capped mountains, and the highest mountain in the area is Mount Cook on that island. This island also has a forest and lakes near Canterbury Plains. When it comes to Australia's continental culture and lifestyles, we can see that a lot of it is based upon the people and location. Populations of Australia are mainly located along the coastline because the entire environment, when you work further into the continent, actually gets a lot more dry, a lot more hot, and not near as admirable for any sort of people to live there. There are cities in that dry area, but they are not near as populated. Many of the people that are in Australia are descent of British, Irish, or Asian people. They have three main ethnic groups, the Melanesians, the Micronesians, and the Polynesians, that live in there. Basically, they end in the same sound, but it means the amount of people or the type of people, that is a number. Very common people that you will see that have been on the continent of Australia for a long time are called Aborigines, and they believe in spiritual concepts. According to their beliefs, called a dream time, that is when spirits wandered around the earth and then eventually created the world and people itself. Aborigines have their own type of art where they paint rocks and parts of the landscape, and this landscape becomes famous in stereotypical views of movies and other ways of writing. In New Zealand, there is art that's widely based on the Maori culture. This is another group of individual people. They do things like canoe making, weaving, wood carving, and storytelling for cultural information to be passed down throughout their people. This means that they tell stories through anything they make, so that way it's understood by future generations and it can be preserved in that way as well. Remember that you need to keep hold of all of these notes so that way we can use them throughout the unit because it is a very large unit. We'll probably be taking about 4 to 5 weeks on this one before we have a test.